Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Danielle Casey joins us. She's the president and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. She's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We are delighted to welcome to the program for the first time Danielle Casey. She is the president and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's a pleasure here for us too. So let's start out with your past. What were you doing before you came to Las Vegas?
Oh goodness, so many things. I'll start more recently, and then
yes.
I can back up a little bit further. But immediately before coming here, I was the president and CEO of the Albuquerque Regional Economic Alliance, so a very similar organization to LVGEA. We're the public-private nonprofit partner for the four-county region, really the greater MSA in that area, which had been around. We were celebrating our 65th anniversary year at the time.
Okay, and then the idea comes up for potentially coming to Las Vegas. What attracted you to come to this market?
Oh, such a great question, and many, many things as well. So I love to share with everyone that I've been coming out to, and I've spent, since my college years, I've been in the Southwest. I was a military kid, so home is where you make it, especially for those of us that grew up in that manner. And my mother was a military brat, so was my stepdad. So there's a deep-seated military piece there. But we've been coming out to Las Vegas. The first time I recall is when I was 13. My aunt, they had been in Hawaii, got remarried, and we all came out, and it became a very big family tradition. So I'm fond of the market. But being fond of a place doesn't make you want to live there and work there and be a change agent for positivity and good in the economy. I was very, very attracted to the opportunity where, and I know we'll get into this, I think it is very much Southern Nevada's time for a multitude of reasons. I was not looking to leave my post in New Mexico. We were doing some really great work. They continue to do wonderful work, and I knew they would be fine because they were on the right track and getting some really big new initiatives done that are going to be game-changing for that community. But as you do, you go to economic development professional conferences and you run into headhunters, and I had one grab me and said, hey, did you know that the Las Vegas regional group is looking for a new president and CEO? And I said, well, that is very interesting. Let me see who I know that would be a good fit. And they said, well, no, we actually mean you. Would you consider this? And I really had to take a pause and think about it and think, is this the right time for a move, for a transition? And then, of course, you do your homework and you start investigating. And I got very curious because I've always been fond of the community and market, but you really have to understand the history and the economy and the many, many layers that come with it that you don't think about when you're visiting.
Right. Well, Southern Nevada is such an interesting place in terms of economic development because you have this huge industry that the basis was, of course, gaming, but now that has shrunk to about 30% or maybe a little bit more of the amount of money being spent, whereas it's now entertainment, it's hotel, it's food, it's so many other things, and now, of course, sports. But they're all connected to the gaming industry and tourism and travel. In Northern Nevada, we've seen incredible growth because of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, where Elon Musk brought in Tesla and combined with Panasonic to build this giant battery factory, and Northern Nevada just took off. I mean, we'd all been hoping for that for decades, but it finally happened. In Southern Nevada, you had Apex, which had struggled for so many years, multiple owners, not the money up front to be able to put into it. But that now has opened up. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto got that bill passed that is really going to help them. But what do you see when you look at Las Vegas as, I don't want to say the missed opportunities, but in a way, the missed opportunities for, development in a different direction than tourism and gaming?
Sure. Well, I always look at it as the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago or today. And so, kind of use more standard phrases. I'm also a very much a glass half full kind of person. So I agree with you. You could say missed opportunities, but I think that it could also be that the world of technology, the world of AI, the fact that we have all of these sports opportunities here and that we have a draw, that actually lends to quality of life in a big way. That can now make it a very pivotal time for us to diversify our economy in a way that builds upon all of our competencies. So what is maybe not directly tied to gaming, but gaming adjacent? What other kinds of innovation are out there? I have talked to a lot of folks lately, and I'm a little over 60 days into the role now. So it's really—
So you've been here a long time.
Exactly. So it's, as you can imagine, it's meeting a lot of people. Every day someone goes, well, do you know so-and-so? And I go, well, I can tell you I haven't had coffee with them because you remember those, but have I shook their hand at an event? Most likely, because that's how we are here, right?
Sure.
Very, very relationship based. So there are so many opportunities to unpack. One I am looking at is also what's going on with aerospace and defense. Economic developers really, if we were entrepreneurs, we would probably go out and do that. There's a role for entrepreneurs, and I have great respect for them because they are building economies. I always tell everyone, when economic development agencies claim jobs or they announce a company, we didn't do that. The private business or the industry did that. It is our job to facilitate it and remove obstacles for them to succeed, and also design communities in a way that creates an environment that works for them. And we can do that with intentionality. So I'm looking at those sectors. We also have to respond to what's happening nationally and globally. So I do think defense and aerospace and innovation in that arena is going to grow. I definitely expect federal investment there. I'm seeing renewable and clean energy, while innovation around that is going to continue to advance. We're not going to see the major federal investments that were really leapfrogging a lot of that for a while. Our pipeline, for example, in New Mexico that I had was 80% all renewable energy, when you had in IRA and then CHIPS funding really as a hotbed at the moment, driving so much interest all around the country. So that's slowed down, but there are other big opportunities.
Do you see when governments change and policies change? And so in the previous administration, we saw a giant push in a lot of the areas you're referring to. So tied together, renewable energy, the military security of the country, the loans to Thacker Pass up near Winnemucca with the lithium mine. You're seeing the same thing in Nye County with lithium. This administration slowing down, and I think in a lot of ways that people get very excited about a certain thing. It's the shiny new toy, and then you step back to reality. And I think when GM, Mary Barra said that they were going to slow down their electronic vehicles, that changes the industry for now. But does it change again with the next administration? Whether it's Republican or Democrat, a different president may have a different view of where we're heading and the speed at which we go. So I think that it's interesting times as far as that goes. I don't think that one administration shuts things off permanently. You only hold that office for a certain period of time.
Correct. I completely agree. And that's why we are in economic development, we're reactive, but we also need to be intentionally proactive in really thinking about our communities, our assets, our capabilities. And I like to draw the picture as we need to be looking at the economy we want to have in the community in 20 years. So while today and what we are seeing as opportunities that are hitting our doorstep or that we are chasing or have potential to grow because of other pressures or opportunities that are creating a pathway for that, maybe something that we're spending time on right now, we have to be designing to that 20-year vision. And I don't think we have that right now for Southern Nevada, a unified 20-year vision. And I've talked about this a lot with folks, and this makes me excited. So this is, to me, also a glass half full opportunity. I've heard from everyone in the business community, from colleagues and partners, that they do want to diversify the economy. And I don't hear that, and this could be what I want to hear or what I believe, but I don't hear that as a negative towards gaming and
Right.
towards our tourism. But in addition to, right, we can have two things can be true at the same time. We can be the absolute entertainment capital of the world. We can be the best at that ever, and we can have really great competencies outside of that. But if we don't have an alignment as to what success looks like in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then you're kind of, just floundering around in the dark. So that's going to be very intentional work that we're going to be doing at LVGEA over the next handful of months.
Right, and I don't think that there's any doubt that the gaming and tourism industry is going to be the lead industry. I mean, just looking at the tens of thousands of people involved in it and the major corporations that are involved in it. But there are lots of other opportunities as well. And it's not that we don't have enough military bases in Nevada. The test site in addition to that, and the potential to do a lot more. One of the things, and I don't know if you've looked at this yet, is electricity. These data storage companies,
Yes.
they are chewing up so much electricity, but we have the open land, we have relatively inexpensive land, low taxes. NV Energy is working as hard as it can to supply as much as it can, but you saw Microsoft, for example, looking at restarting one of the reactors at 3 Mile Island. So individual companies are going to be doing things like that. Are those the kind of things that you're looking at?
Absolutely.
And I don't mean nuclear power, but
Right.
I mean, just in general.
Well, but one of the realities that is out there globally for consideration I had a company in Greater Albuquerque called Kairos Power that was working on small modular reactors. Those things will be conversations in the future and in the very near future. If you want really robust computing power with the advent and, it scares me a little bit. It also, I know that I probably can't even comprehend what could and what will happen with AI in the future. There's so many conversations around that right now. It's absolutely fascinating. Not the world we thought we'd be living in 20 years ago, or maybe it was, but we didn't know if we'd see it in our lifetime.
Only if we watch the Steven Spielberg movie, AI.
Exactly. Good one also. So yes, if you want that kind of computing power, it has to come with that. I look at data centers and power and all those types of things as infrastructure that's required to fuel industry. So we have to, again, decide what balance of industry we want for our community and our market and what makes sense for us. Can we be the hub for companies that want to be, and this is just a theoretical, it's a question we'll call in our strategy work. Can we be the hub for the community, the market, that does energy in the most sustainable way possible out of everyone in the country or the globe? Could we be that center? And companies that want to have that level of CSR and that level of and to operate in that manner, that they will come here, not necessarily because it's the cheapest, because it probably wouldn't be if you're doing it that way, but because it's the best place to do that kind of work.
All right. AI, it seems to me that it is the shiny new toy.
Sure.
And it's been around for a long time. I mean, if you use your phone and you talk to Siri, you're using artificial intelligence. And so people don't necessarily relate to that because it's already become a part of their life. And there are lots of other things. Your television has been listening to you if you bought a smart TV for years, and that's why you're seeing the commercials that you see. But as I look at AI, and with the experience of having looked at lots of changes in the media landscape over the decades, the advent of cable TV, for example, and how that grew. I remember the entertainer Dick Clark saying to me probably 30 years ago that we'd have 300 channels of cable TV.
Mind-blowing,
He didn't
right?
envision that it will probably be in the tens of thousands of channels of TV. That at this point, with the development of AI where it is now, it's a great tool, but it's not 100% accurate.
Sure.
That you have to be very wary of when you're using it. If you're a kid going to school, don't crib off of AI because your teacher may bust you for all the things that are wrong. I say to everybody, use AI to look at yourself and see if the things it has about you are correct, and that'll give you an idea of how best to use it. What do you say to people about AI and how to use it?
Oh, goodness.
For corporations, I mean.
Most definitely. And it's evolving minute by minute by minute, image generation. Also, another thing we can chat about is just automation as well. When we're looking at equipment, we're starting to get more and more opportunities that we are hearing about through consultants that are citing locations that are doing, that are looking at facilities that are heavily dependent on automation. Then that changes the types of workers. They still need employees, but the skill sets they need are vastly different than the ones they needed in the past. Yes, I think with anything, there is a human component that's absolutely critical, and it's definitely a trust but verify type of operation.
Right.
I do love to use AI as a starter tool to get me there, and I think folks that are much more sophisticated in this, I think I'm barely scratching the surface, but it is also only as good as the prompt and the feeds that you give it and the direction that you give it. So I do love to use it to start off a document or clean something up or simplify or change a tone. And it can really, at least in the line of work I do, it's really robust in that way, but it can also take a lot of data sets and do things that used to take us tons and tons of time, even to understand our local economy. I actually had a national commercial real estate consultant shoot us over a note the other day and said, look, here's what I got from AI on comparative markets in your market. I need you to fill in the holes. So it was amazing because they weren't even using research database tools. They're using AI to do comparisons between locations, but they also still know that only the local communities can really truly fill in the gaps about what's actually happening in the market. So I'm crossing my fingers that stays the case.
Yes, it's the old Reagan phrase, trust but verify.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with much more, talking with Danielle Casey, President and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Fantastic cocktails and delicious food.
It's a good time to eat.
Over 500 hot slots plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good times are Tamarack.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Danielle Casey. She's the president and CEO of the Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. You're a young person, relatively speaking.
That's very
even though with a lot of with a lot of experience, and you come to Las Vegas at a time when we're at the relative beginnings of not only refurbishing our airport, around $3 to $4 billion, but also looking at developing a new airport down in Ivanpah, the Ivanpah Valley. It'll kind of be like Denver, where they built the airport about 25 miles outside of town. It's 6,000 acres for the airport alone. There's another 17,000 acres that will be for everything else around the airport. It seems to me that that will open up incredible opportunities for bringing businesses here of every kind.
Well, I would completely agree. This is and this is why I look at this market in Southern Nevada being at a very, very amazing, pivotal moment. What I have heard, but more importantly observed, from afar and talking to the community and doing my listening tour here early on is the one thing that we've got going for us, I believe, above all else, is we know how to reinvent. Yes, and we're willing to look forward and get creative. How amazing is this? I don't think anybody, maybe we did, but I do think from being in other markets around the country, if you'd asked 15 years ago, is Las Vegas going to be a center with major sports teams? Could it be a future location with a major airport hub like you're describing that's on the books? What could this look like in 20 years? Absolutely. I think very critical that it gets planned properly. So as we all know, there are great ways to plan developments, and there are ways where you can maybe miss the beat. So I'm very excited to be here at this time while this is all coming to fruition. Even our airport as it is today is an absolutely essential and tremendous asset in terms of international travel and visitorship.
And it's in the middle of town.
Yes, exactly. I know, we office right next to it, so we get to watch the airplanes come and go. So that's pretty exciting.
I think that all the county commissioners should be sent on a tour, at public expense, by the way, to go to Singapore, South Korea, and United Arab Emirates, and look at the airports that they have developed in those places. I was fortunate enough to go to Singapore last year. Not only the airport itself, but the mall next door to the airport, that is the most phenomenal place. People go into Singapore and then come back to the airport to shop because it's 7 stories tall. It's got a monorail going through the middle of it. It's just unbelievable. So I think the opportunities just at the airport itself are huge. But for economic development, I mean, there's lots of businesses in California that are paying lots of additional monies that maybe they could save by coming to Nevada.
Most definitely. And I think this also lends to the critical importance that's been growing and growing and growing for economic developers and the work we do. So I'll back up, 30 years, 40 years. It was, we always refer to it as smokestack chasing, cigars and golf and getting the deals done and getting that industrial development done. It's rapidly changed to where what we are actually competing against more so than anything. As long as if you have a location, you could put the company. What we're really worried about is labor force, existing labor, future labor pipeline, and the ability to attract talent. So what does our quality of life look like for our residents? And economic developers are more and more and more being drawn into the critical piece of community building and community development.
Absolutely. We'll take another break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Danielle Casey. Very briefly, you have an important partnership coming up.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Our organization and EDON are working together to launch an Economic Developers Training Association that we want to open up to anybody who wants to learn more about this. So more to come in the months.
We will
ahead.
have you back. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. Our thanks to Don, Ryan, and Shane for their hospitality. As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Download the podcast on your favorite podcast app, and be sure to check out our archives going back now to 2002. Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers.